Hello guys, welcome to our next video. On this video, we are going to be treating compositions in After Effects. All the layers you find in your timeline, down the timeline especially, they are included in what we call compositions. They are held by your composition. So composition is a very important part of After Effects, and today we are going to be diving deep into it. Let us begin. In After Effects, all the layers we see down in the timeline, they are contained in what we call a composition. Okay, so compositions are what we use to help build video presentations in After Effects. After this video, you get better understanding of how compositions work, so you feel more comfortable, all right, to move forward. So in this episode, we are going to cover the following topics. So one is, what are compositions? What are compositions? So looking at After Effects, the first time we created a scene, I can call it a scene. You could remember we created a composition at our first introduction video. We created a composition, all right? So that's what we call a composition, okay? And there's not only one way to open a composition. Like the first one we did, it appeared here on our screen right at this place, and we just clicked on it because we had no project open, so it appeared here. But if you have a project open already and you want to open another composition, you just get here, composition, and you click on new composition. All right, so like I said, I'm using a Mac operating system, and there's a slight difference. So we have the shortcut here, Command N. So Command N will open you a new composition. So we can just click on it, new composition. So you see, so what a composition typically does is to hold everything together for you. You can just see it as if you've used Photoshop before. I believe a number of us have used Photoshop. So it just helps you hold all components together, all your objects, like we mentioned in the previous video, all our layers, be it videos, logos, or anything. It helps us to hold them together, just like a folder would do. All right. So we have the second thing here, composition tabs. Okay. So we have right at this timeline panel, this part highlighted blue, like I told you on our previous videos, that this is the timeline panel, and over here we have different tabs. We have tabs, like you can see this here. This is comp 1, all right? This is comp 1, and in comp 1 we have all these layers. Okay, like I said, see it as a folder. So just say in this folder we have all these elements. It means if we open a new composition, we are not going to have this, all right, because we didn't put it inside. Okay, so these are tabs. So likely to happen if we open a new composition is that a new tab is going to be created here. All right, so we are just going to try it out. Let's see our next thing, how to create a composition, our third topic to cover. So let's just look at it. So how do I open a composition? Like I said, you go over here, then do new composition, or you can press Command N if you are using Mac operating system. But if you are using a Windows operating system, you can press Control N. All right, so I'm just going to click on it, and you have the liberty to name your composition whatsoever you want to name it. Okay, I can just say scene 2. All right, so like I said, you don't do much setting. You leave it on HD, just the size, depending on the size of what you want to do. All right, for this sake of this tutorial, you are using normal HD. All right, so we move to the next. We can set the time. We can set it. I believe that our previous video, it was 30 seconds. All right, 30 seconds is the custom duration that it comes with. All right, but you can adjust it. I can just set it to 40 or 50 seconds. All right, so it lasts longer. So here you can change the color of your composition, like we've been using white, so I'll just leave it as white. All right, so I think we are good to go. So just watch what will happen if we create this. So see what happens. A new tab appears. All right, and looking at this new tab, there is nothing inside, and that is right because we've not put anything inside. But if we click right at this second one, we have something inside. All right, So this is our composition. So it means we can put things here. All right, we can put things here, and we can see that we have our composition here. So I'll just likely do something. Just see it as a folder. See it as a folder. See it as a folder. So I'll just likely put something in here. I'll put something in here so we can see. Okay, let me put something here so we can see. Okay, so we have this KFC logo here, but in this composition we don't have it because it's like a new scene. But here, over here, we have it, so you can see the difference. But the thing is that I can bring from my project panel over here, I have on all of them here. I have my comp 1, which is this. I also have my scene 2, which is this. So guess what? I can bring this scene 2 into this composition. All right, see, it's draggable. I can bring it. So you just guess what would be displaying. If I bring it here, guess what will be displaying? If we make this our other layers invisible, you can see that it is right here at the back. It is right here. It is right here. So it's just like a folder. It's just like a folder. So it can be joined here. It's now acting as a single layer. Okay, like I taught you on layer properties on our previous video, you can also apply these properties to it. Okay, you can apply this property to it. You can increase the scale, increase the size. You can see the way it is working. You can increase the size. So let's just move our Twitter from there. Okay, and another good thing is that you don't get to use only this part to create compositions. All right, since it's like grouping in Photoshop, it means we can also group. We can also let me take away that one so it doesn't confuse you. Let me take away the scene 2. I'll just press delete and to go away. So just imagine I have a new layer here. I'll just put another KFC logo here, so you can already guess what we can do to reduce this. All right, so we just go here over the property like I taught you. The scale, will drag it to the left. Okay, so we have it now. So what if we want to apply the same property settings to this boat logo, and we don't want it to touch the screen? So what you do in Photoshop, you likely group these two so you can apply it to them. So what you do here is there's what we call precomposing. Okay, so I just have to click my, please, it's very okay you name your layers. See, my layers, they are not being named. All right, it's a right practice to name your layers. Okay, it's very right practice. So I can say KFC logo. Okay, so I don't get confused. So here I can say, I think this is my Twitter logo. I can rename. Just right click, then you click on rename. I can say this is my Twitter. Okay, so there's something I want to do now. I want to apply the same property setting to both of these. So what I do is I come and select both of them. If you are using Windows, you can press Control and click on both. Okay, so I click on them and I right click. Then I find my pre-compose just below this camera tab. Okay, so I click on pre-compose. You see the same thing happens. It asks me to name it. So I can say 2 logos. I can say 2 logos. So I click OK. So guess what happens if I put a property? Can you see what is happening? You see, if I increase it, it happens to them both because I've grouped them inside one. And I can always edit them individually if I open this composition. If I open it now, it opens, and you can notice something that happened. A new tab is opened for them because every composition you open will always have a tab here. I can see it reflects here too. So if I open this one, I won't find my mobile phone, the Twitter app mockup. You won't find it here. You only find these two because they are grouped inside. I can always go back to my major comp. It's always at the first part. All right, so when I find it, so I have all this content here, meaning I can group these two again, the background and this. I can just right click and pre-compose. Okay, so I can say phone and background. Okay, phone and background. Okay, so this is what I can do. Okay, so that's it. I've grouped this. So again, I can group these two. You see what is happening? I can also group these two composition, and I can also pre-compose them. So you just having folder upon folder and upon folder. I'll just name it first. So there are many things you can do. I'll just name it first comp, alright? So you should have these two. See, it's always reflecting here. So if I open this two, I'll likely find my two composition. If I open this one, I'll find the two logos. Then if I go back to this, open this one, I'll find only this one here because I grouped it. So this is what you can do with compositions. Alright? So if you apply an effect, you can apply an effect to everything at once. The same time, you can go in here and apply effect to this one, and it will not apply to this. Do you get? So it's just like grouping, putting things in folder. So as we get to go, you learn more from compositions, all right, and how to composite. Okay.
So guys, that's it for compositions in After Effects. I believe you now know what the composition is and you know about composition tabs already and how to create a composition. So with this knowledge, we are going to move ahead. On our next video, we are going to be studying the project panel, okay, which is one of the most important panels in After Effects. Okay, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Okay, share to your friends that would want to join this course. And if there was anything you found difficult doing during this lesson, you can just say something in the community or just comment down below. Okay, see you on our next video.